let's talk about the pod resource limit example. Okay, YAML. So when I say the resource limit, right? So we know, right, that we have this pod here. Okay. So let's say we give it a name as SkillUpWithSachin resource example. We give the namespace as such in NS, and we give also this the same. Now there is a resource demo container with the engine actually test, and that is running on a port 80. Now, whenever we have to define the resources, okay, whenever we have to define the resources and things, we basically put the request and limit. What do we put? We we put the request and the limits. Okay. That means what? This is the resources section. Okay, this is the important part. Here you define that this is the minimum amount it is need. It will need, okay? Means it will need 256 GB of RAM, 256 MB of RAM, and 0.2 cores CPU. Okay, 200 MB, 0.2 cores of CPU. When it comes to limit, it will need this much of we have said that it is having the maximum zero point 0.5 and the memory will go until 512 MB. Okay. So now, now when we say here, right, this request and limits, okay, this is defined as resource.request.cpu, resource.request.memory, resource.limit.cpu, resource.limit.memory. These two parameters will control your CPU and memory limit and request. Now, whenever it will be spinner, whenever the pod will be provisioned, these are the minimum configurations it will have, and this is the maximum it will go. Now, let's say if my memory is exceeding 512, okay, if my memory is exceeding 512, then what will happen? What error we will get?
Out of memory.
Exactly. We'll get the out of memory error, okay, the resource related error. So again, we have to come and increase this thing. So let's try to run this. So now if we see our pod, right? You see this resource example, this pod has created. And if we go here, so you see in the resource request and limit, it has the one which we have assigned. Whereas if you see the previous examples where it is running, right? And if you see there are no resource constraints being put up, as we have not assigned any particular resource, so it is so request and limit is empty. Okay, but here for your container, the resource request and limit has been assigned. So this is how you control the resources. This is very important because otherwise your pod will take, if you don't assign anything, right? Your pod has a full capacity to take anything. Okay, it has a full capacity to take the entire CPU, to take the entire memory, right? So there is unnecessary resources you are giving it. So you should always give the resources whatever is needed, right? You should not give the resources more than that need. So that right utilization of resources are always there. So that is this is what about the resource limit CPU and memory on this part. Did I answer this?
Yeah, Sachin.
So just try to create this in your pod. I'll give you the example code. Now, what does this here in the CPU? What does this M means, guys? Here you see the CPU has M written, right? What does this mean? The M means milli, okay? That means the 200 milli CPU, okay, which is equivalent to one CPU core, okay? So this is important that and MI means nothing, it's a maybe bytes, okay? It's a megabytes, and one megabytes is equal to 1.048 MB. Now, one thing more, if you see, if I you want to see that what is the node allocation here, right? So I can describe the node, and in the node, you can see the total allocated resources on node are these. This is the allocated resources for the node itself, okay? The nodes, different nodes on which it is running in, the request and the memory, and these are the utilizations on the same part.